Can you all hear me now? Okay, thank you. Good morning everyone. Please try to fill up the front seats if possible, because we're going to have divide into groups, and whoever don't have a dartfish, try to find someone with who already installed, so that later when we have groups, you can work with in a group. Okay, I will start once everyone settle down. There are a few chairs with tables. Try to get the chair, the chair with tables, so that you can have a place to put your laptop and do work. Because there are a lot of works that even in theory we're going to include practical into it. Okay, is the screen visible for everyone? Is it visible? Okay, all settle down? Okay, good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Yuvaraj Ramasamy. I'm from Malaysia. Okay, enough of introduction about me. I think that's enough. This lady read my whole CV. So I'll skip that part. So the whole purpose I'm here is to share my practical experience integrating with the theory that you've been learning in your course that you're doing, UG course, whether it's sports science or physical education, whatever course it is. How do you use this theoretical that you learn, integrate it in practical with practical? Okay, so I have my objective of being here. Obviously, Gyan has its own objective. So my own objective is at least 10 of you all here, at least 10% of the participants, which is around 6 to 10, can use the knowledge that you learned today for practical use. Not only write it down and put it in your library or wherever. Okay, at least. If anyone, so end of the session, what I can give you, and the 5th day, I can give you a lot of research ideas. How to integrate biomechanics and performance analysis, and what are the performance research gaps available out there, and how can you do that with limited resources, with only your creativity and your hard working. You can do a lot of research with your creativity and hard work. Okay, don't limit yourself with equipments. Equipments is just a tool for us to do. It's not everything. Okay, so I'll go into the topic today. So I'm from Malaysia. A lot of people must be wondering, my name is Indian, Yuvaraj Ramasamy, very Indian name, and how I end up in Malaysia. I'm the 4th generation in India, in Malaysia. Okay, my great-grandfathers are from Tamil Nadu, from Madurai, a place called Madurai. We have my great-grandfathers. I still have relatives there. Every year I visit them there. Okay, we are from Madurai. So in 1870s, my great-grandfather brought by British to Malaysia. That is how I end up there. So my kids, they are the 5th generation who born in Malaysia. We are Malaysian citizens. Okay, Malaysian citizens, but we have relatives here. That is why we have Indian names. In Malaysia, we have Indian, we have Chinese, we have Malays, we call Muslims. Okay, we have, Malaysia is a multi-cultural country. Okay, a lot of races are there. Okay, so the distance I travel is around 6,853 kilometers. I hope it benefits, my presence here benefit everyone, all the participants here, and at the end of the day, I prefer to have a lot of Q&A while going through each topic. Okay, so there are some housekeeping guidelines. Please focus on be punctual. When we say 10-minute break, keep it to 10 minutes. Okay, keep your phones in silence. When you are leaving this place, you don't have to inform. You can quietly leave, whether you're going to washroom or whatever it is, or answering your call. The questions that I'm expecting is relevant to the topic that we are discussing. Keep it short and precise. And I prefer to have collaborative studies, collaborative spirit where you share your experience with the relevant topic. Okay? So this is about me. I've mentioned about myself. So I'm a still Taekwondo practitioner. I'm still practicing Taekwondo. I have my own club. I'm still doing a bit of physical whenever time permits. HDMI not working. Okay, so this is me doing some physical with my kids. Okay, this is when I took my kids to my workplace. That's my workplace where we do all this work. So I'm a Taekwondo 4th Dan black belt. I'm still practicing, and I used to play football, sepak takraw. Anyone know what is sepak takraw? I used to play sepak takraw at university level. A bit of physical, so I have a lot of injuries also. So any physios here? So I can relate to the person you are handling. It's a lot of mental issues that you will face through, not only physical, the physios handling. Because when someone is going through injury, most of the physios will only try to tackle the injury part of you and not psychological issue that they're having. Okay, so when I talk about injury perspective, I have experienced it myself as an athlete. Okay. Okay. So the topic today, for I think another half an hour only, is about introduction. We're going to go through the outlines on what is sports biomechanics and performance analysis. And our second phase, we will go through in details what are the elements or principles of sports biomechanics and what are the important factors involving when it comes to game analysis. Okay. Before that, any sports biomechanics, applied sports biomechanics? Where are you working, sir?
I'm in MCA, Maya.
What is that? Don't use short form. I'm not familiar with short forms here.
Manipal College of Health Professions. I am teaching sports biomechanics. I'm a clinical supervisor for the lab.
Okay. You?
I'm working in Dikte now. Dikte.
Oh, you're applied biomechanics. You're doing biomechanics or teaching biomechanics?
Both, sir.
Both you're doing biomechanics. Okay, that is fine. Anyone don't know what is biomechanics? Anyone don't have any idea about what is biomechanics? What is performance analysis? Okay, so that I can skip certain parts if you're already aware of what are biomechanics, because I don't know, I'm not sure about the depth of knowledge you have. So for some, it might be very simple. For some, it might be a bit difficult. I'm trying to make it moderate for this session. Okay? Okay, introduction to sports. So let's get this straight. By definition, sports involve structured physical activities and competition. That is why here. We're going to talk about sports. Okay, and performance enhancement is a key focus for athletes and coaches. The parties involved when it comes to sports science studies, coaches, athletes, sports scientists. So I am a sports scientist. We work with coaches and athletes. So we have a lot of, like my department, we call sports biomechanics department. There are 8 biomechanics. Each in charge, we work with different cluster of sports. So when we call cluster, it means water sports, anything to do with water. We have cluster, okay, which is swimming, diving, a jet ski, water sport, anything, the canoe, anything to do with water, we put it under sports cluster, water sports. Racket sports, badminton, tennis, squash, table tennis. So it's one cluster. Okay. Another one is strength and power, which involve like weightlifting. Rugby consider a lot of strength and power. Athletics. All these sports will come under strength and power sports. Combat sports like karate, wushu, taekwondo, pencak boxing, kickboxing, muay thai, fencing, all this will come under combat sports. These are the setup that we have. I'm just sharing the setup that we have there so that you can picture where I'm working and what my experience would be. Okay, and then para sports, disabled sports will come under one cluster. And then the end, skill sports. Skill sports involve precision sports like archery, shooting, bowling, anything involving skills will be under one cluster. So I work with combat sports and racket sports. So some of us, we hybrid. We work here and we work here. Okay, that is my experience. Okay, so when I say that focus on athletes and coaches, it's all about performance. Okay, it's all about performance. It's about numbers. It's about data. It's about how to make them run better, throw better, jump better. Okay. So here, this is where scientific approaches can optimize training and reduce injury risk. Most of our work related to performance and how are we going to reduce the risk of injury. Okay. So a bit of introduction on biomechanics. Biomechanics, we have a lot of application in biomechanics. Biomechanics is a general term. It's a very big umbrella. But what we're going to focus today is only sports biomechanics. Okay? There are sports biomechanics. In daily activities, we do use biomechanics. Rehabilitation, occupational biomechanics, development, human growth, when they grow, how do they walk, how do they run, how do they throw, how do they, all the fundamental movement study. And then biomechanics involving studying animals. Actually, this is the pioneer in biomechanics study. Studying about animals, that's how biomechanics studies started actually, to begin with. Okay, they wanted to know how animals with 4 limbs can go faster than us, the mechanics of it. Okay, and then it's going to make engineering aspects, mostly on the equipments that we use, whether it's the chairs that we're sitting, or the whiteboard, or it can be a racket, it can be any equipments. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, study of biomechanics, we study humans' movement. Okay, it can be any movement in general or specific. We have general movement that we study, which we integrate with specific movements such as walking, running, throwing, catching. You throw, you catch. And running, walking, throwing, catching, jumping, these are the fundamentals movement that we do to assess general physical capacity of a person. By doing these 5 type of assessment, which we cover later, you will know, in general, you will know his condition, his body condition, before we go into specific assessment that you want to do. It depends on the sports they are involved. Okay, we analyze force, motions and body mechanics. We help refine techniques. How can we make them throw faster? Or in my PhD, my PhD is in badminton biomechanics, in looking at shoulder movement, overhead movements. Okay, how can we make them smash faster? So in that case, you need to know how an optimal technique will look like. Any movement that you want to study, you need to know how a good technique will look like. Then only you can do comparison or break down the movement and say, okay, this is what went wrong. Without knowing how a good technique looks like, you won't be able to analyze the movement. You cannot do biomechanics job if you don't know how a good technique look like. So first, we need to know this. Okay, when we're talking about performance and injury risk, by doing proper technique and preparing physically prepare the athletes to do that movement, any specific movement, by knowing the demand for the joints, demand for the muscles involved in that sport, we can help them to increase the strength or power or flexibility, physical components, any physical components involved in that movement, and then expect them to reduce the injury risk. Okay, there's also, we are working with equipment design, mostly for athletes who have issues with flat foot. So we work with a company, a local company, to design specific insole for them, so that we can reduce the injury at the same time. And because not all the athletes will have same type of foot. Okay, if you see different type of sports will have different sports in different movement in sports require different physical requirements. Example, take badminton for example. It's a very fast changing direction sports. Okay, so when we say changing direction, we know the movement is multilateral movement. It can go 90-degree left, 90-degree back, 90-degree front, 60-degree left without knowing. So the shoes that they wear is very important. Even the design of the insole depends on the foot itself. We will do scanning, and then we will refer them to the podiatrist to design the shoes for them. Okay. Okay, now we have seen what is biomechanics. Now we know the role of biomechanics. Okay, in general, we know the role of biomechanics. Before we dive into, let's look at what is sports analysis, game analysis. Any game analysis here? Performance analysis? Anyone? Okay, game analysis. The history behind game analysis is because there are limitations for humans when it involves observing any movement or any sports. We have limitation of memorizing everything. We have certain limitation where you can memorize. Maybe I can remember 60% of what happened today. I can remember at the end of the day, if you ask me what happened, how many passes happened, how many goals, I can tell you around 60%. Tomorrow it will reduce by 30%. And then day after tomorrow, how about next competition? When I'm looking at my opponent team, what do I know? We don't know much. We can't remember everything. So documenting it in a strategic manner on the events that happen, it can be in any sports. Okay, strategically documenting it and using it for our team's benefit. Okay, it can be individual sports or it can be team sports. Anyone here from individual sports? Any athletes here still playing? I will need some volunteers to do some practical. Any volunteers? Anyone who's physically fit to do some somersault? Anyone can do somersault? No? Okay, who's the youngest here? Who's the youngest here? Youngest one. Because from time to time I will need someone to show some techniques so that we'll have some demo sessions as well. Anyone fit, not injured? No? Everyone injured? Everyone here injured? Okay, you'll do it? Okay. So you're wearing, what are you wearing? Sport shoes? Your pants? Track shoe? Okay, that is fine. That is fine. That is fine. Okay, a systematic study of performance data during competition and training. Okay, how many of you all involved in individual sports? Not team sports, individual sports. Can you all name few? Powerlifting. Okay. Anyone? Badminton. If you play with your partner, is it individual or team sport? Individual. What is that? Sprinting. Athletics. Anyone? Anyone else? We have one combat, one racket. What is that? Power sports. We have team racket sport. Any water sports here? So I'm trying to understand so that I can relate those sports when I'm giving example. No point if I give example of football, I know footballers here. No one going to bet football. Rugby. Team sports. Power sports. Basketball. Huh? Handball. Hockey. Any combat sports here? Because I have a lot of samples of combat to show. Because I'm from combat. Huh? Boxing. No one else. Any? Huh? Muay Thai. Muay Thai. Okay. Okay. So the physiotherapist, you're working with athletes or general patients? Physiotherapist, you're working with athletes, injured athletes or general patients? Athletes. Anyone working with general patients? General patients. Okay. Good. Okay. The primary focus on game analysis. Primary focus. Main focus will be tactics. With involving tactics. Okay. Whether it's individual sports or team sports. The whole reason why we are doing performance analysis is to understand the tactics behind it and how can we change our technique or tactic to have advantage over the match. Okay, that is the primary goal. How do we do that? By getting some statistics out of the analysis. Statistics like football, how many passes, how many successful passes, unsuccessful passes, how many corners, how many penalty, how many fouls, which zone. We can break it down according to the need that we're going to do. Okay, so by having those data, we can gain advantage over tactical and implement strategic improvement. So we can also, some performance analysis prefer to have only the opponent's data. Okay, only the opponent's data, meaning that they'll have a database system like we have database system where we analyze all our opponents and we'll plug in all the numbers into the database. From there, whenever we are going for any match, any competitions, so after the draw, we know who are we against, and then we'll pull out those data. Okay, to know what are the strength and weakness of our opponents. This is how we make use of the performance analysis data. Okay, and we can track the performance trend over time. How many scores, how many we give someone to score against us, how many do we score against them, to keep track of their progression over time. And the coach will use these information that we gave to come out with a specific strategic. Okay, it based on individual analysis and say, okay, you try this. If it's not working, you change to this. Okay, those information we feed them from time to time based on opponent analysis. Okay. Okay, I have a video. I'm not sure if anyone has watched this before. So if you have watched this, just keep it to yourself. Don't give the answer to anyone. Okay?
So
Battery.
It's not copyright. It's not copyright.
Oh.
Video.
No, video is working. The video is working. The plug is not. The power.
For this.
Yes, battery going to finish.
Yeah, I'll just get it.
The sound for this video. Okay, just read the instruction. Count how many times the player is wearing white pass the basketball. Very simple. Okay, answer? 14, 16, 14, 13, 29, 29. Okay, 14, 24, You see, same video. I didn't play 2 different videos, right? I didn't play 3 different videos. How many answers are we getting? Why? So, the whole objective is that, you see, same video, the way that I watch the video compared to the way that you watch the video will be different. So, who is right? Who is wrong? And then the numbers that you said 14 or 15 or 29 or 34, what benefit does the number gives us as a performance analysis? Okay, it can be right, it can be wrong, but how do we make use of those data to benefit the team? Okay, I'll continue. Correct answer is 15. Who said 15? Hands up. No one? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Can I have the volume? Anyone notice the gorilla? You have seen this video before? The first time? But you still notice the gorilla. Because most of the people will miss what they are not looking. That is why you count 29. You are not focused with what you are trying to achieve. The focus is to count the ball. The question is only white color t-shirt. The one who's wearing white color t-shirt. Okay?
The monkey. The monkey business.
I'll play again. See the same. So what we are trying to say here, you only will see selective attention. This is called selective attention. You will only see the things that you want to see from any footages. But now the question is, are you looking for the right answer when you're doing analysis with your athletes? And what is the right answer? What is the most important thing to look into? Throughout these 5 days, we will discuss. Okay, you see, because we are busy counting how many passes, we miss such a big animal passing through this. It's not a small thing, it's that huge, but we still can miss it. Okay, one more time, pay attention this time. Where's the... Sorry, the battery is gone.
Just a minute, I get it. You have Indian adapter here.
I have adapter.
Hello.
So going back to the video just now, imagine this is a match from any sports. Imagine it's badminton, or it's or rugby, or football, or cricket. So it's very important for us to know what are we looking for. That is what will differentiate between you and others. It can be different. If 30 of y'all here, it can be 30 different things you look at. But who's going to benefit the most? It depends on who's looking at the right thing, right variable. Number of passes in football, yes, it is important, but how important is it? Zone of attack important, but compared if I give you one option, number of attack and which zone conversion happen. So you need to decide which one is important. So most of us what we'll try to do is we will try to look into everything there. We'll count the shots, we'll count the fouls, we'll count this, everything. The number of conversion, what are the keeper's role, what are the defenders doing. We will try to look at everything and we will miss the important part. Because we are trying to look into everything. Okay, this is one of the you can look at everything if you have a proper way of managing your data. But what I'm saying is not to look into everything at once. If I'm looking at this, I'm only focused on this. And then I switch to, I'm looking at another variable of interest. For example, in combat sport, we have number of attempts and success rate in combat sports. Okay, in badminton, in any sports, we count success rate as a performance analysis. We like to count success rate. 30 attempts, 3 score. Okay, 10%. So what? So what do we do with the number? Anyone can give me answer? So 30 attempts, 3 score. What do you do with this number? So when you do stats, it will show 10% of success rate. What do we do next? Please, I want you all to engage so that I can read what's in your mind. I need to know what you all thinking. To give the best. Okay, come out with a strategy to increase the success rate. Okay, some will say, if I want to increase my success rate to 20, what do I do? What do I do? No, I do 60 attempts. What will the number be?
6.
So I increase by double, right? Now? Yes or no?
But it still is at 10%.
But I increase the score. Increase the score to 6 by making, I want to increase the success rate. It's still 10%. But from 3 now I have 6 scores by increasing. But is that the best way of doing it? No. No, yes. So now we have to go back and look into what happened to that 27 attempts. Why it's not a score? Break it down according to the rules. Break it down according to the specific demand for the sport. Why it's not successful? How do we solve this? Is it because of physical? Is it because of mental? Is it because of technique is not right? Then this is what we continue. We integrate biomechanics. You see, we take the data from performance analysis. We understand the need for the sports. What are the need for the sports? And then we break it down into which are the components that cause this 27 attempts not to be successful, and then work from there. Work from there. Just give me a minute. Play the sound. Just give me a moment. Sorry. It's playing.
From the London 2012 semifinals. Here. This isn't his best time, but we get the best side view of his form here. First, let's take a look.
Okay. Good. Okay, this is how we integrate game analysis data. Okay, this is how we make use of the data that we collect with how movements are performed. How movements are performed, it will come under biomechanics, how we perform that. Okay, combined approach offers both physical and tactical. If someone not being able to score a penalty corner, there can be many reasons. Okay, tactical reason, physical reason. Maybe the speed of the ball release is not fast enough. Then we work on physical components. If it's tactical, then we change the strategy of the player's position. Okay, so it involves physical and tactical. Okay, this is how we do need analysis. We call this need analysis. You know, need analysis, what are the need for that sport? So you'll have a model actually to be a good sport scientist or physiotherapist or whatever field that you are at now. You need to have, like I mentioned earlier, a model for your sports. A model meaning that how a good movement will look like. As we as sports biomechanics, if you're asking me, the case for penalty corner, what is the best front foot angle during the release? Where should the center of gravity be during this position? All this you have a model. We have a running analysis model we will do during practical. I will show how a model should look like, what are the muscles involved. So when you have that for any sports that you're working with as a biomechanist or performance analysis, it's like a Bible for you. It's like you know, you refer to when you need something. It's like a sports science reference. So when something goes wrong, you put the video, you calculate the angle, you compare directly. Oh, this went wrong. Or the push off, the shoulder is fully extended, it should be flexed. All this information you should have. We call as need analysis. We won't have time to do need assessment for all sports here. So that's why later when we break into groups, not today, tomorrow, when we break into groups, we will do one session of need analysis for any sports. You break into your cluster, like I mentioned just now, water sports, racket sports, team sports, you break, so that you can focus on one of the sport and then we do need assessment. Okay, real world application. Okay, even though, example, if you are not working with an athlete, not everyone here have the opportunity to work with athlete. You can use this for yourself. It can be, if not sports, it can be how you walk. You can change by understanding this. You can change the way how you walk, how you run, how you do exercise, because we do exercise every day. We do a certain amount of exercise every day. So this knowledge should help you all to change the way of you all whatever that you've been doing before this, to do it the best way of doing exercise. Okay, or if you're working with athletes or your brothers or your sisters, whoever that is in sports, at least this knowledge can be used can be benefit those parties. Okay, so like in my experience is working, we've seen a lot of wonderful positive results after this implementation of intervention that we do. Okay, these are the good things that we get. You know, you're working with someone, he's doing something wrong, you identify what is it, and then you do an intervention and then he do better. That's all our work, to see them do better, reduce the injury. They don't get injured easily because we make them strong. Okay, example of this is our lab. This is our lab in the National Sports Institute. So I took this picture from one of the data collection. So so here we have force plates, embedded force plates. Okay, later I'll explain what is function of force plates. Okay, these are the motion analysis camera. We have 25 motion analysis camera, in our lab. So what you can see here is Bertec instrumented treadmill. So the treadmill itself with force plate. When you run left and right, it will give you information on asymmetry left and right. What is your stride length? What is your stride frequency? Ground reaction force? Okay. So this is it? Yes, we have force plate. Okay. Okay. Conclusion for this 1 minute late. Okay, I'll try to finish it earlier. Biomechanics and game analysis work together as a holistic view of performance. So if we don't see as biomechanics or even strength and conditioning comes in handy, look at as a holistic approach. Everything performance wise, you have to look from holistic approach. And I'm a biomechanist. No, I only do biomechanics job. I won't do any other work. No, it doesn't work like that. If you're a physiotherapist, you need to know strength and conditioning. You need to know nutrition. You need to advise your patients about what to take, what not to take during a recovery process. Psychology, you play very important role as a psychologist because you don't know what mental status they are at that time. You don't go and tell all your problem to them when they come for treatment. They already have enough problem. Okay, it's important. It's important. When you're handling patients who are injured and trying to recover back, they have a lot of questions in their mind. You don't put extra issues there. Okay, so that is why I said we must look from holistic point of view. Okay, integrating will ensure that the physical abilities translate into competitive success. Okay, data driven and approach effective and safe training. Okay, I think that is all for today's morning session. So do you all have any questions? This is just overall. We are only looking at overall. We'll go into details today later and also during practical session. Okay, so after this we'll go through tutorials on dartfish because I'm sure. Okay, so do you all need break? Okay, I'll give 3 minutes break for you all to switch on your laptop and prepare your dartfish. Okay.